betting and gambling was a big part of your business when you were with the Mafia. And in some other interviews, you talked about how you would get sports players to actually fix games when they would get into gambling problems themselves. So can you talk about how these things would sort of progress to the point of them actually shaving points?
So I had all these bookmakers working for me, and they had a lot of athletes gambling with them. Not only athletes, but personnel, involved with the various sports. So I'll give you an example. I would have a bookmaker call me up and say, hey, so-and-so is playing with the Jets, the Mets, whatever team you want, and he's into me for 50 grand. What do you want me to do? You want me to cut him off? And my answer would be, why would you cut him off? You're taking an entry on a piece of paper. Let him get into you for 250 grand, 300, 400, and then bring him to me, and I'll resolve it. I got another way to work this out. Here's how we're going to do it. Okay? You're a quarterback. Okay, you're favored to win by 10 points. The first 3 times you get the ball, you put it in the hands of the other receiver. Put it in the defensive men's hands. You're a running back. You get the ball, you put it on the ground. First 3 times. You let me worry about the rest. You're going to do this until I tell you you're not doing it anymore. That's how I'll get my money back. What are they going to do?
This is former mob boss Michael Franzese giving a fascinating interview to DJ Vlad. The reason I play this?
Among those arrested was an active NBA coach and player in the NBA. Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. 2 names that no one expected to hear in a mob case. That player, Rozier, is alleged to have altered his performance to affect proposition bets. It's bets on things that he was doing. And the coach, Billups, was charged in a separate scheme for participating in rigged poker games the Mafia set up. One former NBA player, Damon Jones, was also arrested for allegedly disclosing privileged injury information about a prominent basketball player for illegal betting. According to ESPN, that information was about LeBron James.
Because there are now multiple scandals.
Tonight, the NBA is doling out a lifetime ban to Raptors forward Jontay Porter Jr. after a league investigation uncovered blatant violations of our gaming rules. Porter is accused of manipulating his own performance and tipping off bettors, which Commissioner Adam Silver commented on days ago.
It's cardinal sin, that what he's accused of in the NBA.
Porter is the first active player or coach expelled from the league for gambling in 70 years.
Adam Silver had no choice but to drop the hammer today.
According to a league investigation, Porter placed at least 13 bets on NBA games, netting about $22,000, shared confidential information about his own health status to a known NBA bettor, and limited his own game participation to influence the outcome of bets tied to his performance.
He then gets into a game against the Sacramento Kings and within 3 minutes takes himself out, saying that he's sick. He only played 3 minutes. He didn't take shots. He didn't get rebounds, so he underperforms. They win the bet.
Involving not just professional athletes.
Let me tell you this. Were there New York teams involved? Yeah. Were there teams around the country involved? Yes. Some people point to games where they can swear that had to be something done. And, in some cases they might be right. It was a little bit obvious. But look, it happens. There's no question about it. And it's going to continue to happen. Not as much on a pro level because these guys are making so much money. But, you got to watch out for referees. You got a referee in an NBA game, okay? You got the Lakers now a favorite to win by 10 points. Favorite to win by 10 points. It's Christmas time. This referee, needs some extra money. Maybe it's something in his family, a sickness or whatever. Maybe he needs a few. Who knows what he might need money for, okay? The Lakers are favored to win by 10 points. Okay, you know this. A referee can call a foul every time these players move down the court, or he doesn't have to call it if he misses it, right? So let's say Lakers are favored to win by 10. He puts a bet against the spread. Remember, it's the spread. It's not winning or losing. So how does he manipulate that? He puts LeBron James on the bench with 3 extra fouls. Keeps him down there 3, 4, 5 minutes longer. He does that the same with 1 or 2 of their key players. He can manipulate that spread so easily over a period of time that common sense tells you.
But also the men wearing stripes.
In 2007, the NBA was rocked to its core when the news hit that referee Tim Donaghy had admitted that he had illegally bet on games he himself had officiated. For his crimes, Donaghy would spend 15 months in federal prison. In 23 of the 30 games that were competitive, Donaghy's calls favored the team that his partners had wagered on. That's 77%.
The most noteworthy was Tim Donaghy. We unfortunately have yet another scandal on our hands in professional sports, and it involves the Turkish Football Federation's referees. The Guardian wrote, the TFF president said a federal investigation based on data from state institutions revealed that 371 of 571 active refs in Turkey's pro leagues had betting accounts. 152 of them were actively gambling. There was another quote he gave. Although no officials were named, the list includes 7 refs and 15 assistant referees from Turkey's top 2 divisions. I've shared the study with both FIFA and UEFA. He also said 10 refs placed bets on more than 10,000 matches. One alone on 18,227 matches. The BBC would add, among the numbers released by the TFF are 7 elite refs qualified to officiate the country's top division games. Under TFF rules, here are the penalties, they could face up to a year-long ban. Article 27 of the FIFA Code of Ethics states that refs found to have placed bets could face a fine of over £94,000 and a ban of up to 3 years from all football-related activities. Via ESPN, match officials, players, and coaches are forbidden from betting by the TFF's disciplinary regulation, as well by FIFA and UEFA. What is really noteworthy is the most powerful teams in the region, in the division rather, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, have called on the federation to disclose the names of refs and the matches involved, urging full transparency as disciplinary action proceeds. And via Euronews, Turkish professional football has faced recurring accusations of match fixing and corruption in recent years. Now, the reason I brought up Michael Franzese and the other notable sports gambling stories is because it shows how enough is never enough for some, and how also how easy it is to reach someone. Franzese is telling you, he is telling you that they influence the outcome of games and how players were performing. And now with the institution of something that is so very important, because it is not the over-under and it is not the spread, which is something that we had a while ago. It is prop bets. Prop bets are everywhere in sports. Everywhere. The over-under on points, the over-under on minutes, the over-under on assists, the over-under on rebounds, the over-under on turnovers. Will they have X amount of field goals made in a certain quarter, in a half, down the stretch? It's almost too influenceable. But then when you think about it even further, Franzese saying, you also got to think about the referees, and we have another referee scandal involving betting. And we don't know the full extent of this investigation. What we do know is they had gambling accounts. This is just my opinion. There's been no reporting on it. I find it to be very, very convenient that an official would have a gambling account, right? And let's say they didn't even gamble on football or soccer. They gambled online poker, or they did English Premier League soccer. And then they start getting in the hole. Well, what's the easiest way for them to make up those losses? The games that they are in. So I await this investigation, but this is just, as a worshiper of professional sports and a huge fan of it, this is really hurting. Because if sports should be left with one thing, and I know there will be many tin hats in the comments saying, oh, come on, Rick, but if there's one thing at least I want to believe in, it's the integrity of the game. And once that is questioned, all hope is lost. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.